Okay, stop what you're doing. I just spent the last 3 days buried in federal documents, and what I found is absolutely wild. DJI didn't just submit 1 or 2 products for approval, they rushed 7 completely new devices through government certification in the final weeks of 2025. And I'm not talking about minor upgrades. One of these products is so different from anything DJI has ever made, it's going to completely reshape how creators approach aerial content. But there's a twist that makes this whole situation even more insane. A massive regulatory shakedown happened right after these certifications went through, and it's creating chaos in the entire drone industry right now. I've got the receipts, the specs, the pricing breakdowns, and most importantly, I'm going to tell you exactly which of these 7 products is worth your money and which one you should absolutely skip. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know more about DJI's 2026 strategy than 99% of creators out there. And trust me, one of these reveals is going to blow your mind. Let's get into it. The game changer, DJI Avata 360. Alright, I'm leading with the absolute game changer here, because this one deserves your full attention. Meet the DJI Avata 360. And no, this isn't the Avata 3. This is something completely different. DJI just built their first ever integrated 360-degree flying camera, and it cleared Federal Communications Commission certification on November 19, 2025. Now, if you've ever tried to capture spherical footage from a drone, you know the nightmare. You're duct taping an Insta360 to your FPV quad, dealing with horrific stitching lines where the propellers slice through the frame, adding weight that destroys your flight time, and then spending literal hours in post-production trying to make it look decent. It's exhausting, expensive, and honestly, most people give up. DJI looked at that entire process and said, what if we just built the 360 camera into the drone? The Avata 360 features dual 1x1.1-inch sensors that capture 8K spherical video at 50 frames per second. But here's where it gets really interesting. The camera module actually rotates. One button press switches you from full 360-degree capture to a forward-facing FPV mode. So you're getting 2 completely different shooting styles in one aircraft. They upgraded the battery to 38.67 watt-hours, which is a 26% jump from the Avata 2. More power, longer flights, more footage. They also integrated LiDAR obstacle sensing, which means you're getting spatial awareness even when you're ripping through tight spaces. And they're using OcuSync 4 transmission with up to 20 kilometers of range. Though, let's be honest, you're never flying that far legally anyway. Now, let's talk about who actually needs this thing, because I don't want you wasting money on gear that's going to collect dust. If you're a real estate videographer, creating immersive property tours where clients can explore spaces in VR, this is transformative. If you're a travel creator doing those insane one-take 360 experiences through markets or festivals, this changes everything. Action sports filmmakers who want Matrix-style bullet time effects without rigging 20 cameras, this is your tool. VR content producers, this is probably the most exciting drone announcement in years. But if you're a casual hobbyist who flies maybe once a month and posts occasional clips to Instagram, this is complete overkill. Save your money. Expected pricing for international markets is somewhere between $999 and $299, based on where DJI typically positions premium products. Now, I need to address the elephant in the room, and we'll dive deeper into this in a few minutes. But US availability is completely uncertain right now due to regulatory restrictions that just went into effect. I'll explain exactly what's happening and what it means for you shortly. Professional Powerhouse, DJI RS5 Gimbal. Now, if you're a filmmaker running mirrorless or cinema cameras, this next one is going to matter to you. The DJI RS5 cleared certification back in September 2025, and it's targeting a very specific pain point that professional shooters deal with constantly: battery life. Here's the massive upgrade. The RS5 packs a 33.29 watt-hour battery compared to the RS4's 21 watt-hours. That's a 58% increase in capacity. Let me put that in real-world terms. You're getting significantly longer shoot days without constantly swapping batteries. If you've ever been on a commercial set where you're burning through gimbal batteries every couple of hours, you know how disruptive that is. You lose momentum, you lose shots, you lose time, and time is money. But battery life isn't the only upgrade. Leaked information suggests that DJI is integrating LiDAR autofocus directly into the gimbal arm. This is huge for cinema, shooters using manual lenses that don't have autofocus capabilities. The LiDAR system uses depth sensing technology to assist with subject tracking, So even when you're using vintage glass or manual cinema primes, you're getting reliable focus assistance. They're also reportedly using carbon fiber construction, making the RS5 approximately 20% lighter than the RS4, while maintaining the same payload capacity. Less weight means less fatigue during long shooting days, especially when you're doing high-angle or extended arm shots. Expected pricing for international markets is somewhere in the $800 to $1,200 range, which positions it right between prosumer and professional territory. If you're currently running an RS3 or older, and you're shooting paid work regularly, this represents a legitimate professional upgrade that will pay for itself in reduced downtime and improved shot quality. If you're running an RS4 already, maybe wait. The upgrades are nice, but probably not essential, unless battery life is genuinely limiting your work. But if you're on older gear or considering your first professional gimbal, the RS5 looks like the move when it becomes available in markets where DJI products aren't restricted. And yes, we're going to talk about those restrictions in just a moment. But first, let me show you the product that probably has the most people excited. The vlogger's dream, Osmo Pocket 4. Alright, this is the one that's been lighting up every creator forum for months. The DJI Osmo Pocket 4 cleared FCC certification on November 26, 2025, with the model designation OP041. This device is production-ready and appears headed for an early 2026 launch window. So, what are we actually getting? The confirmed specs show a battery upgrade to 1,545 mAh at 7.74 volts, which translates to an 18-20% increase over the Pocket 3. In practical terms, you're looking at an extra 30 to 45 minutes of recording time. If you're a vlogger shooting all day, that difference matters. It's the difference between making it through a shoot and having to stop mid-content to charge. It's also getting Wi-Fi 6 with 2A2 MIMO capability on both 2.4 GHz and 5 GHz bands, plus Bluetooth connectivity, faster file transfers, more reliable wireless streaming, better integration with your phone. Now, leaked prototypes show some really interesting physical changes. The camera housing is noticeably larger. There are additional physical buttons positioned beneath the rotating viewfinder, which suggests DJI is addressing one of the biggest complaints about the Pocket 3, the lack of quick access controls. There's also strong evidence pointing to a 1.1-inch sensor capable of 6K video at 60 frames per second. That's a significant image quality jump, especially in low light. But here's where things get confusing, and I want to clear this up because there's a lot of misinformation floating around. Multiple leaked images show prototypes with what looks like a dual camera setup, suggesting a wide-angle lens plus a telephoto for optical zoom. This has led people to believe there's going to be an Osmo Pocket 4 Pro model with 2 cameras. Here's the problem. The Pro model has not cleared FCC certification yet. There's no official documentation supporting its existence as a separate product. What I think is happening, and this is speculation based on how DJI typically operates, is that we're seeing different prototype iterations of the same device. DJI might be testing dual lens configurations internally, but hasn't committed to launching it as a separate Pro model. So, my advice? Expect one Pocket 4 model at launch, priced somewhere between $550 and $650 for international markets, which is roughly a $130 increase over the Pocket 3's $519 launch price. If a Pro model with dual cameras eventually materializes, it would likely add a $150–200 premium on top of that. Is it worth upgrading from the Pocket 3? If you're constantly running out of battery or you need better low-light performance, probably yes. If your Pocket 3 is working fine and you're not hitting its limitations, probably no. And once again, US availability is uncertain for reasons I'm about to explain in detail. The regulatory bombshell. Alright, we need to talk about what happened on December 22, 2025, because it changes everything. The Federal Communications Commission added all foreign-made drones and drone components to its covered list following a White House national security determination. This isn't a proposal. This isn't under review. This is active policy right now. What does that actually mean in plain English? All of these products we've been discussing, the Avata 360, the RS5, the Pocket 4, they cleared FCC certification. They're technically approved. They're production ready, but they cannot currently be sold in the United States without specific exemptions from the Department of Defense or the Department of Homeland Security. Now, before you panic, let me be very clear about what this does not affect. Your existing DJI gear is completely safe and legal. If you own a Mini 4 Pro a Mavic 4 Pro, an Air 3S, a Pocket 3, you're fine. You can keep flying. You can keep using them. They will continue to function normally. Firmware updates will likely continue, though long-term support isn't guaranteed. What you cannot do is buy new DJI models that weren't already FCC authorized and cleared for sale before December 22nd. Why did DJI rush all these products through certification in late 2025? They saw this coming. Industry insiders have been talking about potential restrictions for over a year. DJI was trying to get as many products approved before the regulatory door slammed shut. Now, is there a path forward for U.S. consumers? Potentially. The regulation includes an exemption process. DJI has been requesting transparent security reviews for over a year, arguing that their products don't pose the national security risks that regulators claim. Some products could eventually receive clearance, but that timeline is completely unpredictable. It could be months. It could be years. It might not happen at all. For international viewers, and this is important, these products will launch throughout 2026. The Avata 360 is likely dropping in Q1 2026. The RS5 is probably coming in Q1 or Q2. The Pocket 4 is expected in the first half of 2026. If you're in Europe, Asia, Australia, Canada, or most other markets, you'll have access to these products. For U.S. creators, your options right now are limited. You can continue using and purchasing existing DJI products from current inventory. You can monitor regulatory developments and hope for exemptions. Or you can consider sourcing equipment internationally through authorized dealers, though that comes with warranty and support implications. This is a messy situation, and I'll be covering developments as they happen, but I wanted you to understand the reality instead of just hyping products you might not be able to buy. The supporting products. All right, let's quickly run through the remaining products because there are some important clarifications and a couple of items that might actually be useful, depending on your workflow. DJI Mic Mini, let's clear up the confusion. First, I keep seeing people reference a Mic Mini 2 as if it's coming soon. It's not. There is no Mic Mini 2 in development, and there's no FCC filing for it. What does exist is the DJI Mic Mini, which already launched in 2025. It's an ultra-compact wireless mic system with 11.5 hours of battery life on the transmitters and 10.5 hours on the receiver. It works with DJI cameras and smartphones, and it's available right now for under $100. DJI also launched the Mic 3 in September 2025, which has even smaller transmitters and improved audio quality. If you need a wireless mic system, those are your current options. Don't wait for a Mic Mini 2 that doesn't exist. Osmo Mobile 8P. This one cleared FCC certification on December 16, 2025, and it's a pro version of DJI's smartphone gimbal. Note that this is different from the Osmo Mobile 8, which already launched in November 2025. The main upgrades for the 8P are improved motors that can handle phones up to 300 grams, which means larger phones with heavy cases won't struggle. They've refined the stabilization algorithms, and there's speculation about integrated LiDAR for subject tracking, similar to what we're seeing in the RS5. Battery life is also getting an upgrade. Those specific numbers haven't been confirmed yet. Expected launch is late March or early April 2026 for international markets, with pricing around $159 to $179. Who needs this? If you're a mobile-first creator shooting dynamic movement, skateboarding, running complex tracking shots, and you're serious about production quality, the 8P makes sense. If you're just doing basic handheld vlogging, the standard Osmo Mobile 8 is probably fine. Osmo Frame Tap. This is a wireless remote control accessory that's designed to work with the Osmo Mobile 8P, not the Pocket 4 as some sources have confused. It lets you start and stop recording, adjust framing and trigger functions without physically touching your phone. For mobile creators doing pieces to camera or solo content, this provides convenient hands-free control. Expected pricing is around $50 to $70, which is reasonable for the convenience it provides. What you need to do right now? Okay, let's bring this all together, because I want you walking away from this video with a clear action plan, not just information overload. If you're in the United States, do not panic buy existing DJI gear just because of regulatory uncertainty. I've already seen scalpers trying to drive up prices on current models by creating artificial scarcity. Don't fall for it. Make purchasing decisions based on genuine need and current projects, not speculation about future availability. If you need a drone right now for paid work, buy one. If you're just worried you might not be able to buy one later, that's not a good enough reason. Stay informed through credible sources. Follow official DJI announcements, monitor FCC filings, and pay attention to regulatory updates. Don't rely on random YouTube rumors or forum speculation. Keep using your existing gear. It's not going anywhere. It's not going to stop working. And honestly, the gear you already have is probably more than capable for what you're creating. If you're international, you're in a much better position. These products will launch throughout 2026 in markets where DJI operates without restrictions. The Avata 360, RS5, and Pocket 4 are all coming, and they're all going to be significant upgrades in their respective categories. My advice? Wait for independent reviews before buying. Just because something is new doesn't mean it's automatically better than what you have. Let people test these products in real-world scenarios, then make informed decisions. For everyone, the drone industry is going through a massive transition right now. We're seeing regulatory pressure, we're seeing innovation, we're seeing market shifts. Things are going to keep changing throughout 2026. The smartest thing you can do is focus on creating great content with the gear you have right now, instead of obsessing over gear you can't get yet. Master your current tools, learn new techniques, build your skills. The gear will sort itself out eventually. Join the conversation. All right, I want to hear from you because this affects different people in completely different ways. If you're in the US, drop a comment and tell me, how are these restrictions affecting your work or your hobby? Are you worried about long-term support for your current gear? Are you considering switching to alternative brands? If you're international, are you seeing increased DJI product availability as the company shifts focus to other markets? Are prices changing? And here's the big question for everyone. What do you think about restricting foreign technology based on national security concerns? Is this a legitimate safety issue? Or is this protectionism disguised as security? I'm genuinely curious about your perspective. Leave a comment below. Let's have a real conversation about this because it's not as simple as good or bad. There are legitimate arguments on multiple sides. Final thoughts. Look, 2026 is shaping up to be one of the most chaotic years in the drone and content creation industry that we've seen in a long time. 7 new DJI products are in the pipeline. One of them, the Avata 360, could legitimately transform how creators approach aerial 360 content. The RS5 is bringing meaningful upgrades for professional filmmakers. The Pocket 4 is pushing vlogging gear forward. But the regulatory situation is creating uncertainty that's going to affect how, when, and where these products actually reach consumers. I'll be covering every development as it happens. Regulatory updates, hands-on reviews when products launch in available markets, alternative options for creators who can't access DJI gear, and real-world testing to help you make smart purchasing decisions. If you want to stay informed, and I mean actually informed, not just subjected to clickbait rumors, hit that subscribe button right now and turn on notifications. I'm cutting through the noise and giving you the information you actually need. This is a complex situation with real implications for content creators, professional filmmakers, hobbyists, and the entire drone industry. Whether you're navigating new restrictions or exploring what's possible with available technology, I'm here to help you make the smartest decisions. Thanks for sticking with me through this deep dive. I'll see you in the next one.